Hey everybody, my name is Jared Bendis. I am the Creative New Media Officer for the Freedman Center for Digital Scholarship at the Kelvin Library here at Case Western Reserve University. And today we're going to learn to use the Book Edge Scanner. Now the Book Edge Scanner, which is currently on station 14, but by the time you watch this video, it could be in any station, is in the Freedman Center, and it's designed for scanning in books and making the pages perfectly flat. I'm going to be experimenting with this book here, which is very, very old and out of copyright, so I'm not worried about how much I am or am not going to scan the book. And let's get started. So the first thing you need, if you're going to work at the Freedman Center for Digital Scholarship at the Kelvin Library, Case Western University, is a key. This is a USB key that you check out from the service desk, and it plugs into the front of the computer. And when you do that, the computer unlocks and allows you to work. The second thing you need to do at any time you're at the Freedman Center is make sure that you put all of your files in your folder on the D drive. That would be the D drive and your case ID. If you ever save, even for a moment, your stuff to the desktop or to the C drive and the machine freezes, it is wiped. So never, ever, ever save your files to the desktop or anywhere on the C drive, always on the D drive and always in your network ID folder. There it is safe even upon a quick reboot. So here is the Plustek Optic Book A300. This is a book edge scanner, which means that the edge of the scanner comes all the way out to the glass. The power, if it isn't on, is located on the side. You can see it's already on, so you don't have to turn it on. But if there's ever a problem, you can always turn it off and turn it back on again. And there is the scanner. Always good to make sure the scanner bed looks clean, not dusty, but you're pretty good over here. When using the book edge scanner, you want to make sure that the pages lie flat, that the book is all the way flat into it, and that you slide it all the way here as possible. Notice, by the way, there's going to be a gap on this one because it's a hardcover book. If this is a paperback book, it might go all the way to the top. Whatever happens, you need to be consistent, because wherever you place the book, you're going to constantly be placing the book in the same location, even when you change the orientation, because you're going to constantly be taking the book, turning the page, and flipping the book around. And then coming over here, see how flat it is right there, and slide it over just like that. That's how this book edge scanner works. Notice I do not need to put the back down on it, but I am going to hold the book in place with one hand. With the other hand, I'm going to press the proper button depending on what I'm scanning as. On the desktop, you're going to see the Book Pavilion software. The first time you launch it, it may not launch. It may just, you double click it and you're like, where'd it go? Well, it's right down there. And then if you double click it, it'll launch. And it's going to come over here. It's going to do a preview of whatever's on the scanner bed. And again, it's okay that the scanner bed is open, and it's going to show you what's here. So there are really two modes that you can use this software in. One of them is called the PDF utility, which is going to automatically create a PDF. Let me walk you through all the different pieces in the PDF utility. First, PDF utility. Secondly, when it asks you for the file format of PDF, if you click on properties, it's going to ask you for quality. Right now it's set to 8. I love high quality. I'm going to set mine to 10. It's going to save all pages to one file with no rotation, which is really important because you don't quite know how rotation is going to work. They have different things about even and odd scans, but really your best bet is to rotate the pictures afterwards inside of Acrobat. I'm going to browse for my destination folder. I'm going to make sure that there's a prefix. And basically, these are the basic settings that you're going to do for PDF mode, which is basically that you're going to make a PDF in one file, what quality, and where are you going to put it. Now, the trick to working in the PDF utility is that every time you scan a page, it goes into temporary memory, which means that until you hit the transfer button at the very, very end, after you scanned all of your pages, you've actually saved nothing. So if this program were to crash after, let's say, 50 pages, then you would have nothing saved. So if you only have a few pages to do, the PDF utility is great. Otherwise, I like the more stable version of using the file utility and saving everything as uncompressed TIFF files. But we're going to save each page separately, and again, I've set the location and what I want the beginning of it to look like. And then every time I scan a page, it's going to scan automatically and save each page individually. So the PDF utility is great if you're only doing a few pages and you have to hit the transfer button at the end. But with the file utility, you save as TIFF files individually and will assemble them later inside of Acrobat. Notice there's no properties here because these are uncompressed TIFF files, which is the highest quality that we possibly can create. Lastly, there are different mode settings here. And in the mode settings, we can have color, grayscale, or black and white text. Now, black and white text is really, really iffy because you don't quite know what the page is going to look like. You want to make sure that if you're going to use this mode, that you really look at every page individually so you're happy with the threshold that it's chosen. I tend to scan either in the grayscale mode or the color mode. You can choose to do 300 dpi or 600 dpi. I find that for most documents, 300 dpi is fine, but if you do have some pictures in it, 600 dpi would be ideal. Another consideration that you have to deal with is how much of the book are you going to capture? So when I'm capturing, I tend to over capture. I tend to capture a giant rectangle that's bigger than what I need. This way, if I have a little bit of play, it's not going to show up. That means I'm going to have to crop it later inside of Acrobat. Or if I know exactly what I want and the book has enough margin, I could come over here and I could decide I'm going to crop and scan a little bit tighter in the document. Again, that's a little bit less stable because you don't quite know if you're gonna miss anything or not, but this is the way a lot of people choose to do it. Now they have to make sure that they stay exactly where they are for every single scan. So I come over here, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna overscan my document. This way I've got a little bit more room to play. Generally, you don't even wanna have to worry about play at all, but I do like to have the full page. That's another decision that you have to make. How close are you going to crop as you move forward? All right, now that I'm ready to go, I've got to decide whether I'm scanning in color or grayscale, and then go over to my scanner. All right, the book is on the scanner. It is completely flat. It's as far over as it can be. Again, notice that because this is a hardcover book, there's a little bit of a gap over here. This is a paperback book, there'd be no gap whatsoever. And then I decide which button to press. I'm gonna come over here. I'm gonna press the color scan button, and it's gonna scan the book. This is how fast it is at 600 dpi, which is still pretty fast. Then I come over here, I take the book, I turn the page. It's blank. I actually scan blank pages, but for our demonstration, I won't. Here we go, I want an upside down page. Here we go. I'm gonna scan this page right here, and I'm gonna press color scan, and I'm gonna scan that page. Beautiful. Now I have 2 pages that have been scanned. Let's go take a look inside of my folder and see that I have 2 pages. And they are 46 megabytes apiece because they are uncompressed TIFF files. Now we work in Adobe Acrobat. Let me go into the Adobe Apps folder and click on Adobe Acrobat. Our Adobe Acrobat might take a minute for the license to catch up, so if it gives you an error message that you're not licensed, just wait a minute, it'll catch right back up. Now, one of the things you have to be very careful about with Acrobat, especially even when you're using your own version of Acrobat, is the settings. If I were to go to Edit, Preferences, if you were to look at Convert to PDF, you'll notice there's a lot of settings here. And the idea is that every time you convert to a PDF, it's going to change what type of compression it's going to use. So if I were to say Convert to PDF from PNG file, you'll notice that it says medium quality, medium quality. If I were to say convert from PDF from a TIFF file, it says maximum quality and maximum quality. And that's because I've set it. So literally, whenever you're creating a PDF inside of Acrobat from another file, there are settings in Convert to PDF. If I were to take a TIFF file and say Edit Settings, I can literally change it from JPEG maximum quality to all the way JPEG 2000 quality lossless. I'm going to do JPEG quality maximum, but it's very important to realize that under grayscale and color, there are different settings, and that literally different file formats will have different settings as well. And it's your job to ask yourself what quality level you want when creating a PDF from another document. File, Create, PDF, combine multiple files into PDF. Really straightforward. If I click on options, you're going to see small, medium, and large. I'm going to choose large. I'm also going to turn off always enable accessibility and reflow because I'm going to do that a little bit later on. Add files, and I'm going to grab these 2 files and I'm going to click open. Now they're there. I click combine and it's going to turn these into one large PDF file. Binder 1 is created, and then of course I can save it to my folder as binder 1. And if I do that, what you're going to notice is that I have a file here that's 5 megabytes. So it turned literally those 2 46 megabyte files into one 5 megabyte PDF, which is pretty cool. Now, let's take a look at this document. If I zoom out, you'll notice one page is upside down and one page is right side up. So What do I want to do? You'd think I want to rotate the pages, but really you want to crop them first. And the reason you want to crop them first is that the crop is going to be the same for all the pages, but once you rotate it, the crop is going to be different. I'm going to come over here to Scan and OCR. I'm going to choose the crop tool, and I'm going to crop one page. Grab a rectangle, double click inside of it, and choose all of the pages, and now all the pages are cropped the same. Beautiful. Now, you think the next step is recognize text, but you never want to use the recognize text button. Instead, you want to use the enhance button. If I choose the enhance scan document button, I can come over here and I can check the settings. And the settings are really important here. I want to make sure that adaptive compression is turned off, high quality is turned on, and under filters, I'm going to turn all the filters off, because on a book, you don't need to have any of the filters turned on. When I click on OK, now recognize text is checked. And if I hit enhance, it's going to rotate the pages based on the recognized text, which is going to be different than if I hit the recognize text button, because it'll actually do things that I can't undo otherwise. And now it's going to rotate the page for me. It takes a while, but I don't have to worry about it. And there it is. Beautiful. File, save as. I'm going to save it to the same place. I'm going to call it binder 11 so we can compare. And let's come over here. And we have 5 megabyte file, and now we have a little bit of a 4 megabyte file because we cropped it. And that's it. Now I have a PDF and I can do whatever I want with it. So there's the BookEd scanner. There's Acrobat. Have a good time. That's really it. I know there's a lot of decisions to make, but anytime you're making a PDF, there are more decisions to make than you realize. The issues of rotation, of crop, of quality, playing with the other things like the background and the deskew removal. I've seen an entire book scanned where every period has been accidentally removed because someone used the wrong settings in Acrobat. So really, I would say go as straightforward as possible. I like to go through the scan every page as an uncompressed TIFF. I like to go through, keep my settings highest quality possible, crop them, combine them, and go from there. Also, always make sure that you do the recognized text. Not only does it rotate the pages for you, but it makes everything searchable, which is great. Again, be very, very careful to use the enhance button and not the recognize text button. Otherwise, it'll do the deskew, and you'll find all these little weird sort of triangles on your pages, which you'll really, really hate later on. Anyway, my name is Jared. You can email the Freedman Center or Freedman Center Case IDU if you have any questions, and thanks for scanning.